What's up, it's Jim from On Point Samples, and I'm really excited to get into the Zaag Kicks. In this kick series for Serum 2, I'm going to show you how you can create every kick type for Serum 2. And Zaag Kicks are probably one of the most divisive kicks on the internet. You either hate it or you love it.
I like this. It's very grown up.
Either way, I'm going to show you how you can make it 100% from scratch. And today we'll make something like this. Or this one. I guarantee at the end of the video, you'll know how to make this 100% from the ground up. I'll make sure to go slow so you can follow along, copy my settings if needed. And to make that even easier, you can download the preset that I'm making today 100% for free on our website. No email required. You click a button and it's yours. I also included a bunch of extra free presets that you can grab and use. So make sure you grab that while you're at it. Let's get right into it. We initialize our preset and we immediately open the sub and take that down an octave. Let's open a pattern and immediately draw one, and I'm gonna make one in F sharp. Let's remove a bit of the end right here, like you can see, just so it flows a bit better. Also, make sure you're in the BPM of the song that you want to produce. It helps shape the kick. Make sure your sub is really at the lowest frequency without it sounding bad. This doesn't work. This works. I'm gonna open Oscillator A, and this is essentially an octave higher than the sub. Click this right here, and now we can remove fundamental frequencies out of the waveform. Let's remove the first one and the second one for half. This way, the phase is not really going to interfere with the low frequencies. Let's open Oscillator B, and we're going to use the Serum 1 table actually, 4088. We can tweak this later, but this one just works really well in terms of overtones. Also take that down an octave. Now, you need to lock in the phase, remove any phase randomization, so Serum just takes the same phase point each time it hits a note. There you go. Just take down the level of A a bit, and of B a bit, and let's get into the effects section. The first thing you want to do is slap on a 0 square distortion. All the way. So the basic idea behind these kicks is opening an equalizer in front of the distortion, and we're creating a peak here around the mids. And we're going to remove the sub like this. We have two LFOs that we're going to assign. The first one, LFO 1, is going to be enveloped, and we make it look somewhat like this, and it goes down. So this means the sub is low, the sub is high, and goes low again, because we're going to assign that to the gain here. And the more we remove the sub, the more the mids come through, and the more you have that kind of like tonal Zaag kick, right? Let's get to the next equalizer. This one is kind of going to just boost the peak with LFO 2. That's why I said there's two LFOs. You make that look somewhat like this, so it's a very nice attack, and it's on envelope, and you put that to the gain of the peak. But the only thing you got to make sure is that it's roughly the same frequency as the first peak. Now we can control the frequency peak with a macro, and just click Shift-Alt-Click to make it bipolar. Do the same thing for this one, Shift-Alt-Click, and just go to the matrix and make sure that the area is similar, 22%-ish. This is just going to ensure a blend between both peaks and them being the same. If you have a little bit of inconsistency, that's even better because it boosts cool harmonics. So the second distortion you add here is tube. Let's open that up. But we want to reduce the bass again. Instead of using a low shelf, we're going to use a bell curve, and we're going to find the bass again. If you click, you get the spectrum. And we're just using the same LFO here, so we have the bass controlled by the same thing. Right? Cool. So then we have one more equalizer, and this is kind of just going to boost the sub only. And if we use a final distortion on soft clip, we can kind of just add that bass humph to the kick without changing the tone too much. Once you have this set up, and we'll change this later, it's time to go back into the oscillators, because now you can really hear how that changes the kick a lot. This might sound weird, but you're gonna detune both of them a little bit. And because the phase randomization is at 0, you can do this. And also we remove the subharmonics from this one, which helps a lot. But to fix this even more, let's use a splitter low, high after everything. And we just include a utility and we take the width down and we make sure it crosses over at around 300. And now you can hear how you get a lot of different variations by playing with the detune on both of them. So let's also open a sync on Oscillator B, which is going to allow us to change the tone of Oscillator B more carefully. See? So it's time to assign some macros. Macro 1, as you remember, is the peak, so we can change that. Peak, boom. Then we can assign a macro right here to both of the detunes, from 0 to not too much because it gets too greasy. You can hear that, right? It's too chaotic, so not too much. And then also to this detune here. Now we can also add a macro to the level of B, because we don't always need it. B overtones, I guess, is cool. Oscillator A, detune, Oscillator B, detune. And then what we can do is control the bass. So let's control the first bass right here. Take the gain down from here to there with a macro. And also use that same macro for the second EQ. Down and up. But then for the final bass boost, let's do that with another macro. Because it doesn't really shape the tone of the kick. And to add a bit more movement, we're going to also use LFO1 on the bass here. So it's bass 2 level, and this is bass 1 level. Pretty solid. What you can add at the end right now is another distortion on soft clip, just because I'm gonna add an equalizer in front of it, and we remove a little bit of the 300 Hertz-ish vibes just to make it a bit cleaner. You can introduce a bit more volume. Perfect. So at this point, the kick is actually almost done, but there's a few things that you can add to this kick, and the first one I would like you to try is doing an envelope like this, assigned to the global main tuning. LFO3, global main tune. Just don't add it too much, and also control here, but it's going to allow you to get a humph in the kick a bit. It's going to increase the pitch, and you can change the tone of the kick a bit. Or like that, you know what I mean? Very fast. Or you can get creative with this by adding a little bit like something like that, right? So how you can really shape how this kick kind of blends is just with LFO1, and that's the beauty of this. That's because LFO1 is ducking the bass and opening it up, and the moment the bass ducks, the mids take over, and that's that Zaag sound sort of, you know? So if you take different shapes, you can different kicks. Really cool. See that? This different shape gets you all the kicks. Another thing that we weren't controlling with a macro yet is the sync of B. So let's do that right here. And this is a good moment to demonstrate that once you have a very clean peak, and how that happens is sort of that the pre-signal just has a very big boost at a certain frequency band, right? And then the peak is put over that, and then the bass is maybe too low. And that's why it takes over and it sounds like very resonant, right? So we just add a bit more bass to compensate. So it's really a play between the mids, the sub, and what you drive through it, mainly Oscillator B and the detune, and also how it's synced. Because once again, if you build this up all the way without any fucking plugins, it sounds like this. Right? So now feel free to change Oscillator B to something very digital in Serum 2. And you can find something with overtones like this. Not everything works. The beauty of this is that the phase stays in place because we locked in all the phase randomization. Yes, we're detuning it, but we also fixed that by using the utility on the bass mono right here. We collapsed the width on the lows. It is recommendable to render your kick like so, and just work with this. It is probably the best method to not screw up your phase. It's pretty important with these kicks, and because of all the effects, it might be wrong, you know? So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll get back to you. Do not forget to download the preset that I just made alongside the free preset pack that I created for you as well. No email required. Just click a button, it's yours. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.